In the year 2073, the world had changed. Humans were no longer just residents of Earth. They were now the most dangerous predators in the galaxy. With powerful technology and advanced weapons, they could travel to distant stars and defend their planet against any threat. People looked at the skies and saw hope, but not everyone shared that hope. Across the galaxy, many alien races watched humans with worry. These races had once looked down on Earth as a backwater planet. They thought humans were weak and primitive, but now, as reports of human victories spread, they began to feel afraid. The alien leaders gathered in a grand meeting on the planet Xantor, a lush world filled with strange plants and creatures. They discussed the rising threat that humans posed to their power and safety. Xantor was home to the Eldarians, a proud race known for their advanced technology and wisdom. Their leader, High Commander Selthar, stood tall before the gathering. He was a towering figure with blue skin and shimmering eyes that glowed with intelligence. "We must take action," he said. "These humans have shown that they can defeat us. They are no longer just a small threat. They are a danger to our very existence." The other leaders nodded in agreement, their faces filled with concern. The Atharians, a fierce warrior race, were especially worried. Their leader, General Drakor, slammed his fist on the table. "We cannot allow humans to gain more power. They must be stopped before it is too late." As the meeting continued, the leaders shared stories of human attacks. They spoke of a recent battle where a human ship had outsmarted and defeated an entire alien fleet. The Eldarians had sent a large group of ships to capture a human outpost on a distant planet, but the humans had turned the tables. Using clever tactics, they lured the alien ships into a trap and destroyed them one by one. The aliens had not expected such a fierce fight from humans. Back on Earth, the human leaders were aware of the alien meetings. They knew that the aliens were afraid, and this fear only fueled their determination. President Lara Mason, a strong and intelligent leader, gathered her top generals and advisors in a high-tech command center. The room was filled with screens showing images of alien fleets and maps of the galaxy. "We have to keep pushing forward," President Mason said. "The aliens want to stop us, but they don't realize how strong we have become. We must show them that humans are not to be underestimated." General Tom Reed, a battle-hardened veteran, nodded in agreement. "We need to strike first. We cannot wait for them to come for us. We have the technology, and we have the will to win. Let's show them what humans can do." As the discussion continued, plans were made for a surprise attack against a small alien outpost. The goal was to demonstrate human strength and send a clear message to the galaxy. Humans were no longer prey, they were predators. The news of the planned attack spread quickly among the human ranks. Excitement and nervousness filled the air. Soldiers prepared their ships, checking weapons and making sure everything was ready. They knew this was their chance to prove themselves. In the darkness of space, the humans launched their ships towards the alien outpost. As they approached, the tension was thick. The crew members exchanged glances, knowing that this battle would change everything. They were ready to show the galaxy that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. As the fleet reached the alien outpost, alarms blared. The aliens were not prepared for the attack. Humans descended upon the base, launching a fierce and well-coordinated assault. The surprise caught the aliens off guard, and soon they were in chaos. The first battle was a triumph for humanity. The aliens learned that humans were not just a distant threat. They were the new kings of the galaxy, ready to fight for their place among the stars. The galaxy would never be the same again. After their surprising victory, humans felt a surge of confidence. The battle against the alien outpost had shown them that they could stand strong against any foe. News of their triumph spread like wildfire across the galaxy. Many humans felt proud. They were no longer seen as weak. They were seen as dangerous predators, ready to take on any challenge. On Earth, President Lara Mason watched the reports closely. Her heart raced with excitement as she listened to the stories of bravery from the front lines. But she also knew that the aliens would not sit idle. They would plan their revenge, and the humans had to be ready. In a secure command room, President Mason gathered her top advisors and military leaders. The room buzzed with energy and anticipation. "We cannot rest on our laurels," she said firmly. "The aliens will come after us. We need to strike first and show them we are not afraid." General Tom Reed stepped forward, his eyes focused and serious. "I suggest we take the fight to the alien homeworld. We should target their supply lines and key military bases. If we can hit them hard, They will think twice before attacking us again." The advisors exchanged looks of concern. Targeting the alien homeworld was risky, but it could change the course of the war. After much discussion, they agreed. It was time for a bold move. The plan was set. A fleet of human ships, equipped with the latest technology, was prepared for the mission. They would travel deep into enemy territory and strike when the aliens least expected it. The pilots trained hard, practicing their maneuvers and strategies for the upcoming battle. Excitement and nervousness filled the air as they prepared for their greatest challenge yet. As the fleet moved through space, tensions ran high. The crew members knew the risks, but they were determined to prove their strength. Captain Lisa Cheng, a skilled pilot, led the fleet. She felt the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. Her crew looked to her for guidance, and she was ready to lead them to victory. When they reached the alien homeworld, they found it heavily guarded. Alien ships filled the skies, and defense systems were active. But the humans had come prepared. They used their knowledge of the enemy's tactics to find a way through the defenses. As the fleet approached, Captain Chung issued commands with confidence. "Form up and prepare for engagement. We can do this!" The crew cheered, filled with determination. The battle began, and chaos erupted. Human ships darted in and out of enemy fire, using their agility to avoid hits. The aliens were shocked by the humans' boldness. They had not expected such an attack on their home turf. With a well-coordinated strike, humans targeted key alien ships and installations. They focused on disrupting the enemy's supply lines, cutting off resources and reinforcements. One by one, alien ships fell as humans used clever tactics and teamwork. During the battle, General Reed fought alongside his troops. He was in his element, guiding the fighters and leading them to victory. "Stay focused! Watch your six!" he shouted over the comms. His presence inspired the soldiers to push through their fear and fight harder. As the battle raged on, the humans gained the upper hand. Alien ships began to retreat, their morale shattered by the relentless human assault. The humans pressed forward, determined to show the galaxy that they would not back down. The turning point came when Captain Chung spotted the alien flagship. It was a massive ship, the heart of the alien fleet. "We have to take that ship down," she yelled. With a bold plan, she led a group of fighters straight toward it. As they approached, the flagship opened fire, but the humans expertly dodged the blasts. With precision and skill, they launched a devastating counterattack. Explosions lit up the dark space, and soon the flagship was crippled, a symbol of the aliens' defeat. When the dust settled, the human fleet stood victorious. They had struck a powerful blow against the aliens, proving that humans were not just survivors, they were predators. As they returned to Earth, cheers filled the ships. The message was clear: humans had claimed their place in the galaxy. This victory marked a new chapter for humanity. The galaxy now knew that humans were not to be trifled with, and the aliens would think twice before challenging them again. The reign of humans had begun. After their stunning victory against the alien homeworld, humans felt a surge of confidence. They celebrated their achievements, believing they had proven their strength to the galaxy. But little did they know, a darker conflict was brewing behind the scenes. While humans reveled in their triumph, many alien races were not willing to accept defeat. They were plotting revenge, and a secret alliance began to form among the enemies of humanity. The Eldarians, Etherians, and other races gathered in hidden chambers on distant planets, away from prying eyes. They discussed how to take down the humans once and for all. High Commander Selthar, the leader of the Eldarians, paced nervously. "We cannot let the humans continue their rampage. They are a threat to our existence. We need to unite our forces and strike when they least expect it." General Dracor, the fierce warrior of the Etherians, nodded in agreement. "We have underestimated them for too long, but if we work together, we can crush their pride and force them to submit." As the alien leaders forged their plans, the humans continued to prepare for their next move. President Lara Mason sensed that something was not right. Reports from her scouts suggested unusual activity among the alien fleets. She knew that the aliens would retaliate, but she had no idea how coordinated their efforts would be. To gather more information, President Mason decided to send a group of elite human soldiers on a secret mission. These soldiers, known as the Phantom Unit, were experts in stealth and reconnaissance. They would infiltrate an alien territory and gather intelligence on the enemy's plans. Captain Lisa Cheng, who had proven herself in previous battles, was chosen to lead the Phantom Unit. She gathered her team, a mix of skilled fighters and tech experts, and briefed them on their mission. "We need to be careful," she said. "Our goal is to gather information, not to engage in combat. We must discover what the aliens are planning." The team nodded, their expressions serious. They knew the risks involved, but they were determined to protect humanity. Under the cover of darkness, the Phantom unit launched their small stealth ship into enemy territory. They moved quietly through the shadows of space, avoiding detection. As they approached an alien base, they could see the alien ships buzzing around like angry hornets. Once they landed, the team split up to gather intel. Chung and her tech expert, Lieutenant Max, crept toward the main control room. They bypassed security systems and hacked into the alien computers. What they discovered shocked them. The aliens were not just planning a single attack, they were building a massive fleet to strike Earth. They had formed a coalition of races, each contributing their strongest ships and warriors. The human forces were greatly outnumbered, and the aliens were determined to take revenge for their losses. Just as they were downloading the crucial data, an alarm suddenly blared throughout the base. The team's hearts raced as they realized they had been detected. "We need to move! Now!" Chung shouted. The Phantom unit sprinted through the hallways, dodging patrols and evading capture. They reached their ship just as alien guards closed in. The crew worked frantically to get the engines running. With a roar, the ship lifted off just as alien blasters fired at them. As they escaped, the team breathed a sigh of relief, but they knew they had to act fast. They had crucial information about the alien alliance and their plans for war. The humans needed to prepare for the impending attack. When they returned to Earth, President Mason gathered her top advisors to discuss the findings. The mood was serious as Chung shared the details of the alien coalition. "They are planning a massive assault, and if we don't act quickly, we may lose everything we fought for," she warned. The room fell silent as the weight of the news sank in. The humans realized that the battle was far from over. They were in a hidden war, one that required careful planning and strength. President Mason made a bold decision. They would strike first against the coalition before the aliens could fully mobilize. The time for celebration was over. The humans had to prepare for the fight of their lives. They would face a united enemy, but they were determined to defend their home and show the galaxy that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. As the sun rose over Earth, the atmosphere was thick with tension. President Lara Mason stood before her advisors in the war room, looking at the maps spread across the table. The reports from the Phantom unit weighed heavily on her mind. The alien coalition was growing stronger, and the time for action was now. "We have learned their plans, but we must use our unique strengths," Mason declared. "We cannot match their numbers, but we have something they don't: creativity, determination, and the element of surprise." General Tom Reed, who had been studying the maps, nodded in agreement. "We need to hit them where they least expect it. We should exploit their overconfidence and lack of understanding about humans." Cheng, who had returned from the mission, stepped forward. "We know they have been underestimating us. We should use that to our advantage. I suggest we launch a series of smaller, targeted strikes against their supply lines. If we can disrupt their logistics, we can weaken their coalition before they even reach Earth." The team brainstormed ideas, excited by the possibilities. Each member contributed, sharing their experiences from previous battles. The discussions flowed, filled with determination and a shared goal. They were ready to fight back. Days passed as the humans prepared for their strategy. They gathered a small fleet of ships and trained their pilots for quick and efficient strikes. Their focus was on speed and agility. They wanted to be like shadows, slipping in and out before the aliens could react. The first target was an alien supply depot located on a remote planet. This depot was critical for the coalition, providing weapons and resources for their war machines. Chung led the mission, her team eager to prove themselves. As they approached the target, Chung felt a rush of adrenaline. The alien base was heavily guarded, but the humans had a plan. They used their stealth technology to slip through the defenses. With precision, they landed on the dark side of the planet, away from watchful eyes. Chung divided the team into smaller groups to create confusion. "Stick to the plan and stay alert," she reminded them. Each group moved silently through the shadows, planting explosives at key points throughout the base. As they worked, they could see the aliens going about their routines, unaware of the danger that was about to strike. Chung and her team moved swiftly, their hearts racing with excitement and fear. Once the charges were set, they regrouped and prepared to escape. Chung signaled for the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go! With a loud explosion, the depot erupted in flames, sending shockwaves through the area. The aliens scrambled, trying to figure out what had happened. The human team rushed back to their ship, adrenaline pumping through their veins. As they lifted off, they could see chaos erupting below. The explosion had not only destroyed the supply depot, but had also disrupted communication among the aliens. They were thrown into disarray. "Mission accomplished!" Chung cheered, and the team erupted in applause. They had succeeded in their first strike, but they knew this was just the beginning. The humans had proven that they could fight back and win against overwhelming odds. As the humans returned to Earth, President Mason received the news with excitement. The successful strike boosted morale across the planet. News reports celebrated the humans' clever tactics, showcasing their bravery and creativity. The galaxy was beginning to see that humans were not to be taken lightly. Inspired by their success, the human forces launched more targeted strikes over the following weeks. They hit supply lines, damaged ships, and disrupted the alien coalition at every turn. Each attack was a new victory, strengthening the belief that they could turn the tide of the war. However, the aliens were not blind to the losses. They were beginning to realize that the humans had an advantage that they had overlooked. The element of surprise and the humans' unorthodox tactics made them unpredictable. The coalition leaders gathered again to discuss how to counter the human strategy. But for now, the humans were riding high on their victories. They had turned the tide of the war, proving that even when faced with overwhelming odds, they could find a way to succeed. They were no longer just survivors, they were warriors, ready to fight for their home and their future. As the human fleet prepared for the next mission, President Mason reminded them all of their strength. "We may be outnumbered, but we have something powerful, our spirit. We will keep fighting, and we will not back down." With renewed determination, the humans prepared for the battles ahead, ready to defend their home against any enemy. The stars twinkled brightly over Earth as humans gathered to celebrate their hard-fought victories. After months of battles, they had finally turned the tide against the alien coalition. President Laura Mason stood on a grand stage, her heart filled with pride as she addressed the crowd. The air was electric with excitement and hope. "Today marks a new era for humanity," she declared, her voice echoing through the night. "We have shown the galaxy that we are not just survivors but fierce warriors. Together, we have defeated those who sought to conquer us, and we will continue to protect our home." The crowd erupted into cheers, waving flags and banners that represented their unity. People from all walks of life had come together, united in their determination to defend their planet. They celebrated not just their victories, but also their newfound strength as a species. As the festivities continued, the military leaders gathered in a war room to discuss the future. General Tom Reed looked at the holographic map of the galaxy, filled with glowing markers representing alien ships and human outposts. "We have a chance to reshape our future," he said. "We must ensure that no alien force can threaten us again." Captain Lisa Cheng, who had led many successful missions, nodded in agreement. "We need to establish strong alliances with other races that stand against tyranny. We can show them that humanity is a valuable ally." The leaders discussed strategies for peace and cooperation. They realized that the galaxy was vast, and while many races had been their enemies, there were also those who had been oppressed by the coalition. Humans could extend a hand to these races, forging new bonds based on mutual respect and understanding. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the alien coalition leaders were grappling with their defeat. High Commander Selthar paced angrily in a dimly lit chamber. "We underestimated the humans, and now they are becoming a threat we cannot ignore. We must regroup and prepare for another assault." But as the days passed, Selthar realized that a full-scale invasion would not be enough. The coalition had lost significant resources, and many races were starting to question the wisdom of continuing the fight against humanity. News of human victories spread, and many planets began to rethink their alliances. Back on Earth, the atmosphere was charged with optimism. President Mason and her advisors worked tirelessly to establish contact with other alien races. They invited representatives from planets once aligned with the coalition to peace talks on Earth. It was a bold move, but Mason believed in the power of diplomacy. The day of the peace summit arrived. Representatives from various races gathered in a grand hall, their expressions a mix of curiosity and caution. President Mason stood before them, ready to extend an olive branch. "We stand before you not as conquerors but as partners," she said earnestly. "We have fought to protect our home, but we seek peace. Together we can build a future where all races can thrive without fear of tyranny." The representatives listened intently, some skeptical, others intrigued. The Etherians, once fierce enemies, sent a delegation led by General Dracor. He stood up, his deep voice resonating through the hall. "Humans have shown great courage. Perhaps it is time for us to consider a different path, one where we work together instead of against each other." A murmur of agreement swept through the crowd. Slowly, more representatives began to voice their support for a new alliance. The atmosphere shifted from suspicion to hope as discussions about cooperation and mutual defense began. As the summit progressed, Mason's vision for the future became clearer. Together, they discussed trade, shared technology, and established a united front against any potential threats. The humans and their former enemies began to forge bonds of friendship that would change the galaxy forever. With each passing day, the coalition weakened and new alliances flourished. Humans became known not just as warriors, but as diplomats who could bridge the gap between races. They demonstrated that understanding and cooperation could triumph over hatred and division. As the peace talks concluded, President Mason looked out at the diverse gathering of races. She smiled, knowing that they were building a new future together. "We have fought for our right to exist, and now we will fight for a better galaxy. This is a new era, one where humanity will play a key role in the fate of the universe." The cheers that erupted from the crowd echoed through the hall, a promise of hope and unity. The galaxy was no longer a battleground. It was a place where differences could be celebrated and partnerships could thrive. Humanity had taken its place among the stars, not as predators, but as guardians of peace, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. And so a new chapter began for humanity and the galaxy. Together they would create a future filled with promise, cooperation, and understanding.